Hello everyone, and happy Friday. I'm just gonna get everything set up here, make sure I can see comments if people are joining me, and then we will get started. So as promised, we are going to be working with the Sweet Stockings suite of products, but making a non-Christmas card. So if you follow me, you know that I am part of a stamp camp, which will be in September, September 17th and 18th, so it's 2 days. It's in an exclusive Facebook group, 14 projects, 7 Stampin' demonstrators, and we are using this suite of products. Hello, Casey. Hello, Claudette. So I just wanted to keep showing people what else you can do with these products, show you how versatile they are, and yeah, just get people excited, and if you're on the fence. So we are looking at the mini catalog. We're looking at page 30 and 31. So I am actually basing tonight's card on this guy in the corner here. So we're essentially going to be casing this card here, but we are just going to be turning it into a birthday themed card. All right, so I have already done a tiny bit of the prep work so that we can just sort of move along at a little bit more of a brisk pace. So I have my cardstock. It is 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to score it here at 4 1/4. So our standard card base, make sure I don't cut it. Score that. All right, so I am using Pear Pizzazz. So one thing you may or may not have noticed about Stampin' Up, hello Allie, they are very good about telling you what the primary colors are in DSP, but that doesn't mean that is every color. So they have listed that there is Old Olive and Evening Evergreen, which is definitely 2 of the greens in this particular pattern, but you can also see there's a thin stripe of a 3rd green, which is, I think it's Pear Pizzazz, or it's at least very close to Pear Pizzazz. So I'm going to be using a Pear Pizzazz card base. I think that's, well, that might not be what they used in the catalog. They might have used Old Olive, but I like using the lighter color. I think it looks good. And on the back of this paper is these cute little guys. And then I have already used my dies to cut out this excellent banner. So it is this large die here, and I've already done that using this beautiful Pool Party DSP. On the other side are these super fun Christmas lights. But of course, like I said, we are trying to make a non-Christmas themed card just to showcase the versatility of this set. And again, if you follow me, you will see that I had already posted a card this week that I made for someone that was the thank you card, and I just had the little puppy in the potted plant. So it wasn't using Christmas at all. I didn't use the DSP, but I wanted to show that you could even still use this DSP and not be making a holiday card. So I'm going to set that DSP aside. These are the pieces I've chosen. So like I said, we have our card base, which is like in the catalog. We have this little tag similar to the catalog. This is a 1-inch strip, and what they have done in the catalog is they have it layered here and then cut on an angle. So we will do that as well, but we're just going to put that to the side for now. Okay, so I did a little bit of stamping ahead of time, and the only reason I stamped this ahead of time is because we are going to be doing some coloring, so I wanted to minimize the time. So the card in the catalog has 2 of each gift. It does not have any pets in it, but I am thinking we might want some pets, so I stamped both the dog and the cat. So we're going to go ahead and color the gifts, and then we'll kind of go from there. So you could use Stampin' Write markers. You could use blends. So we don't have Pear Pizzazz in the blend. We just have Old Olive. But we do have a Pear Pizzazz marker. And then we do have Pool Party. And what other colors? I feel like they use some Cherry Cobbler. So we'll pull that out. Although because We definitely don't have to use the red, so maybe we won't. Well, I might think about that for a second. Okay, but let's go ahead with these. And they did something really neat. So we're gonna do that too, because I really like how it looks. And I assume they did it with black. On one of the small gifts, they added extra lines. And I thought it was really neat. So I'm just gonna take my ruler and I'm gonna take the thin end of my ruler, and they just went across and made like another little pattern of lines. So I'm gonna try to get this at a similar angle to what's happening on the other side. And just draw a thin line. It just makes it a little more fun for the coloring. And then we're just gonna make sure we don't go into the ribbon. So you can see I'm just continually drawing my ruler across so that I stay at the same width, roughly, in these extra rows I'm making. Obviously you don't have to do this, but I saw it in the one in the catalog and I thought it looked fun. I like how the coloring looks, so I wanted to give it a try. Just finish some of those lines. I feel like this one I need a little bit in there. Okay, so that is that gift, which is super cute. And that is the gift that they did with the pool party. So it looks like it's kind of, oh no, it's alternating. So it's just an alternating of light and dark. Oh, I messed up. Oh well. It's hard to see. The light is light. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, obviously. But I'm just trying to have some fun here. Okay. And then I'm going to do the other squares in the dark. You could totally do different colors. As we know, when we copy something, it doesn't have to be copied exactly. But if you like to color, then this makes it kind of fun. So they put a different colored bow in there, which was super cute. I'm just trying to decide if I'm gonna stick with the red or not. And then they did another super cute thing on this present. Although I really don't think they used, I think they used Pear Pizzazz. So I'm gonna color it in. So the only thing about using Stampin' Rate markers is they do show your brush strokes, unlike a blends. But now I'm gonna do like they did, and they did polka dots. This is the thing, you can jazz it up however you want. It does not have to stay solid just because there's no pattern on it. All right, so that's that one. Hello, Carol. Okay, so let's see. I don't want this to be super Christmassy. We're trying to make it a birthday theme. So I'm gonna pull in a different color, not red. So let me think about this. Maybe I will pull in a darker blue or a brighter blue. We could pull that in, or could pull pull in Misty Moonlight. Just Jade. Granny Apple Green. Feel free to chime in, folks. We could pull in the freesia, or the papaya. It's not red. Take a look. Take a look at what those look like. No, not really loving that. You know what? Maybe I will stick with the red. Still kind of fun. Okay. We won't stray too far. We will just stick with the red. So then I like what they did. They put a bright red bow on this present. Which is fun. And then this guy, they did in stripes. And I actually think I'm going to use, no, not that. Oh, I know what I want to use. I'm thinking Poppy Parade, but I might just actually use this. So now I'm just bringing in some other reds. Do the markers last longer than the blendables? I have had my markers forever, so I am going to say yes, they do last longer. They're not alcohol based, right? They are water based. But I'm not sure that I've actually ever had a marker dry out, which is good because I'm not really sure what I'm going to do when one of them does, because you can't buy single markers. You can only buy entire color families. So if you run out of one marker, you kind of need to buy them all again. But there's reasons to have both. The Stampin' Right markers you can color on your stamps with, so it allows us to have a greeting or something be in multiple colors. And for the longest time there wasn't something else. There weren't the blends, right? But I still love my Stampin' Right markers. And then they have the green thing on here, but I think I'm actually going to put a blue ribbon. So we're just playing around here. Obviously you can do whatever colors you want. Always goes without saying. And then this big gift, they did a striped, oh, whoops, a striped ribbon, which is kind of fun. Sorry, my light went out there. A striped ribbon. And then they did a really light colored red. But I might actually do, I'm thinking I might do another green present. And don't forget that with the Stampin' Blends, because you can use the color lifter, you can always make something lighter. All right, so there's our gifts. Now let's color our, well, I'm trying to think if we'll color the pets. I think we're gonna color the pets. So I'm gonna use Crumb Cake. I don't know if you saw the pet I did the other day. It was quite cute, I thought. So I'm gonna, again, I'm just kind of looking at one that is in the catalog, and I'm gonna kind of try to mimic a little bit of what I'm seeing there. So I'm gonna do dark everywhere that there is dark. I always like to lay down the dark bits first, and then I go back in with my light. This little guy, they left some white, so that's gonna be cute. And I'm gonna do a little bit of dark in here. Just kind of checking the shading they've done in the catalog here, which is kind of fun. And then they did little dark paws. All right, so that is the dark. And then to get a really nice blend, you want to, so I'm just gonna do a big brush over with my paintbrush end. Keeping in mind we don't want to color the eye, so we've got to be careful here. This little puppy is really adorable, quite honestly. If you like pets, it's very sweet, this set. All right, and then we're gonna do the paw. And then to get a nice blend, you really want to see a lot of color saturation where your colors are overlapping. And you can do that by looking on the back. So now I'm going to go back in with my fine point, and I'm really kind of going to go over the spots that I had dark. Because we don't want it to look like we have two colors there. We want it to just be this nice blending of tones, right? So it should appear darker, but it shouldn't be like, whoa, there's two different markers that were used. And so sometimes when you add the light, you might find that now you've lost the dark, so then you can just sort of go back in, add a little bit more, and sort of continue. It's you know, it's totally a personal preference. I can still see it. You guys probably can't see it as well. But I'm just going to kind of go back in here, layer a bit more dark, layer a bit more dark. And then, so you can see it now on that side, but then I'm just going to kind of go back in, blend it again. And then you'll see what I mean about the back being super saturated where we're doing the blending. And these are, you know, these are a work in progress, I think, or like, you know, it's a bit of an acquired skill. So if you're new to blends, or you're like, you didn't have any, but you're kind of like, ooh, I like that. I like the idea of coloring. Don't be too hard on yourself if it takes you a little bit to get used to it. You also kind of have to color and then let it sit, because often things can change once it sort of dries and absorbs a little bit. So I'm going to leave the dog and go back to it. I've got my color lifter, but I don't want to lift any color yet until I've colored the cat. So we're going to do the cat in gray. And again, I'm just kind of taking the one that I'm looking at in the catalog here. As, oops, I keep turning my light off. Inspiration. So I am going to, this time I'll just show you. So I'm going to do the whole thing in the light color. So I've got smoky slate here. The other thing, you want to be careful when you get too close to the edge. Sometimes they will bleed a little bit. That's why we have to use the Memento ink. But so I sometimes will leave a little gap between the edge and then go back and fill it in if it doesn't bleed. Okay, so there's the light. And then I'm just kind of looking how they did theirs. I'm gonna put some dark in here. So they gave this guy some dark, they kind of gave it like a little dark little V. And then some shading in the cheeks here. So sometimes with these kinds of things, when I don't really know, like, I don't have pets, I don't sort of know colorings necessarily. Same as when I started using the succulents, that stamp set, is I just Googled it and looked up what was sort of natural shading, natural colors, and went from there. So something like this where we're trying to really blend a shape, you'll see what I mean. So see, by me repeatedly going over that, I've really made it blend nicely, those two shades. Doesn't mean you have to press really hard, it just means you gotta sort of keep applying, mixing. But now we've got sort of nice blending of light and dark. All right, so we got a kitty, we got a puppy, we got some gifts. Let's get this on the go. What I am gonna do though, I'm gonna do a little bit of color lifter on the pup. So the color lifter just looks like white, and I just want him to be a little bit lighter in the, so again, you can, with the color lifter, you kind of want to start, and then you can always take away more. I mean, you can put color back, but you just want to sort of be mindful of how you're doing that. Doesn't necessarily mean it's making it white, you're just getting a lighter version of what you got going on there. I use my color lifter a lot. I'm probably on my second or third color lifter. I am going to add a little bit of color back now. Oh, you didn't know that was what that was for? Oh, yeah. I just kind of don't like what I got going on there now, so I'm just going to do that. All right, I'm happy with that. I'm going to just move all my blends markers off to the side, and we are going to carry on. Okay, so I'm actually going to, I am going to use my large die cut because I want to use the magnetic plate. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to get out the dies. So hopefully we can die cut quite a few things at once. I tried to space them when I was stamping them, because what happens is you can't have them be too close or they kind of repel each other. So we'll see what happens. And if you know these the magnetic plate, you also know that there are spots where it kind of goes a bit wonky. So we'll see. But I think we can get those guys. We might even be able to do the dog at the same time. Let's give it a whirl. Perfect. Okay, so I'm not going to pull my Big Shot into the screen, because if I do that, all of my hard work here is going to be lost. So I'm just going to move off to the side. nothing moved. All right, so we got our cute little pup. Oh my God, you guys, these, like, seriously, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a cutesy. I don't generally go for these sets that have super cute things, but I know that people like them, so I will usually buy one so that I can work with it. But I am finding, and this happened last time in Celebration with those donkeys, that I was like, and then I loved them. And so I can see now the same thing is happening here. I wasn't 100% sure about the puppies or this set, and now I love it. Like, it's so adorable. Sorry, I'm just trying to put my dies back. I haven't done my tracing, so I am not necessarily getting my die where it belongs. There we go. Okay, we're gonna do these ones, and then we are good to go. Now, we are going to have to use another stamp set because we need a happy birthday. Because this is a seasonal stamp set. There is no happy birthday in it, but doesn't mean, oh geez, that's okay. Just because we have to add a greeting from another set shouldn't be a reason that we don't buy a set. I'm just showing that if you combine it with something else, it can have more than one purpose. Because sometimes we get so fixated on something, we see it in the catalog, we think, oh, that's all we can do with it. But that is not necessarily the case. All right. We might still need to do a bit of adding something else. So I'm gonna play around with this. The peach set has the best happy birthday font. Okay, that might be a good one to look at. So what I am going to do is get my scissors. I want a similar angle, so I'm actually going to line this up, cut it, and then we're just going to advance it forward. So that's how we're going to have the same angle, and then I'm going to adhere that on. And then we need it, I don't want it hanging out the end, so I'm just going to cut it. Okay, so that is what we do for that. You've used it for so many cards. Okay, let's take a look. Now, I was wondering, in the sample, they haven't done anything with this background paper. So there are a couple things we could do. We could stamp on it, or we could emboss. And I was kind of wondering if it might be fun to emboss some circles. So this is sometimes what I do when I'm trying to decide if I want an embossing folder, is I will lay it over my cardstock. So let's say we just kind of did circles like this. And then I kind of put the pieces back on and I look and think, do I like that? Is it adding? Is it taking away? Is it going to give me sort of that fun effect I'm looking for? And then they had in the catalog, I can't pick these up now. Oh my goodness. They had these presents kind of all stacked in here. This guy. You can see, even with me using the magnetic plate, some of them kind of slipped. Oh my gosh. And then what I was thinking we would do is add our little cuties over here. So we can still tie in our pets like this, polka dots, And then we'll do a greeting. So let's look at the Sweet as a Peach. It does have a fun happy birthday, you're right. And then we're gonna, you know, put a little happy birthday, and we can, so there's this cute little banner in, with this suite. Oh, sorry, what's going on here? My lights moved. Something's going on. Maybe not. So if we want this longer, just trying to think. Actually, I just think I won't use that die, so I know what I'm gonna do. Okay, so what do you guys think? I think that looks kind of cute, right? Play around with how these gifts are a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to bring this off like that because that's kind of how we want it. I'm going to put this on a block. All right, we're going to run this through the die cut. It is a, I'm trying to think, is it a 3D? No, it's not a 3D. Oh my God. My desk, people, my desk is a bit chaotic. Okay, I want to make sure I'm going to get all of this. So pull it through. I also want to make sure I'm going to get the right bit of the dots. Center it. I don't know where everyone is. I know some of you guys are Lower Mainland, or at least you're BC. It's so hot here. And then today it is so smoky. Oh, it's terrible. We don't have air conditioning. Normally our basement, which is where I am right now, is cool. But even this, because it is so hot, it's not very cool. I'm sweating. Not that you really wanted to know that, but there's a cold beer waiting for me after this, my friends. A cold beer. Okay, there we go. Yes, I love this folder too. Okay, so we've got our dots. We're going to put the stripe down. My glue is upstairs, so we're gonna use seal. Also, my adhesive sheet is upstairs because I've been working on my team swaps. So you can appreciate that I don't have all my things that I would normally use here. So we're gonna apply that. Although, is that gonna be too low? I kinda want the dots to show. I'm gonna move it up a little. We still have some wiggle room. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. And then I'm actually gonna attach everything to this, and then we're gonna attach this with dimensionals. I really don't like how that has bled, so I need to do something about that. So we are going to have to cover that up somehow. So I might have to just bring in some Bermuda Bay here. Okay, less obvious now. Still not super jazzed, but I'm gonna make it work. Okay, we're going to stamp our greeting. And I'm just going to stick with black. I'm trying to think though. I guess I can kind of, yeah, okay. So we're gonna stamp this. Gonna leave some room so I have some options. And I am going to cut this at 3/4. And I'm going to banner the end. So this is where this, oh, pick a banner punch is really awesome. So I'm just going to cut this off about here. I want a similar end to what we have with the die. So we can go like that. And then I will trim all that. Okay, so let's get this going. I kind of liked where those pets were. Okay, so I'm just gonna put some adhesive on the back of everything right now, and then we are going to play around with placement. And I think I'm gonna pop up this very front gift. So somewhere on my table, I had like a trillion dimensionals, and I probably, oh no, here they are, took them upstairs, okay. So we're gonna pop this guy up. And we'll kind of figure that out, okay. So you can always pop up anything. I mean, even if you put seal on it or Tombow or whatever, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna lightly place these, and then at least then we kind of have the option to take them off. And what I might do on the end of this guy, I haven't used this die yet, so it's not coming out. Oh, I might take this little die, which has this cute little scallop and this stitching. Oh, I can't though, because then I'll cut off my happy. Cancel that. In theory, it was a good idea, but it's not gonna work. So I'm just going to cut this closer. Okay. So if we kind of did something like, and I think I don't want quite as much showing, so I'm going to banner that again. That's good. Okay. So we might kind of go like that, and then like that, and then if we kind of have this guy over here like this, and then if we have that one kind of something like that, and then I had the puppy kind of in behind looking. So in the one in the catalog, this is where they have like the candy cane and the greenery, but of course, because this isn't a holiday card, I could have used the greenery for sure. Even this cat, you guys, is so cute. Sorry, I'm not talking. I'm thinking. I'm thinking about what I got going on here. Okay, so the knot is going to come on here like this. That guy's going to go like this. Actually thinking I might do that a bit more like that. Okay, and then we're going to add some embellishments. We're going to add some more dimensionals. And then I'm going to try to decide, do I want that on dimensionals too? That's going to be on dimensionals as well. Okay. This is where you guys are probably like, I really wish she had worked this out ahead of time. But if I work everything out ahead of time, and I couldn't because I wanted to actually craft most of this live, I kind of had to just wing it. Okay, so that's up on dimensionals. This is going to be on dimensionals. We're going to use we might use some of the ribbon even. Better to see the whole process, yeah. My whole crazy process. I don't think I like the ribbon. We will go with embellishments instead. Okay. So I'm not sure if I've convinced any of you that you should have this stamp set or not, or that you should join me for Stamp Camp. But if you have done Stamp Camp before, you know how amazing it is. You know that you are going to come away with 14 amazing projects. You're going to get so many tips and tricks from the demos that are involved. You're used to, if you're, one of my customers or you follow me, then you're going to be used to how I do things. And instead you're going to see how some other demos do it. There's always like a couple of 3D, or there's generally a 3D project. There is always some fancy folds. Okay, so we're going to pull out the embellishments that go with this. So we have Evening Evergreen, Old Olive, Bumblebee, and Cherry Cobbler. And I don't know where my Take a Pic tool is. I took a bunch of stuff to Vernon, and so, oh, here it is. I haven't necessarily unpacked everything. Okay. So let's see. So there's not a pool party, but the very light Evening Evergreen is actually pretty close. But of course there is the different shades of green, the yellows, and then the reds. So I feel like we should, dun, 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 dun. We're going to use a combination. I'm going to use, I think, quite a few of these blue ones. So again, with embellishments, I put them down very lightly so that I can move them around. And then once I'm happy, I sort of pat them down. So I'm often very non-committal with embellishments. I kind of move them around. I check and see where I like them. Sometimes what I will actually do too when I'm just working on something for myself is I will take a picture. So I'll put it all together and then I'll kind of take a picture and then I'll decide. And then if I'm trying to decide between two different things, I'll take a picture of the second thing and then see if I like that, which one I like better. So I kind of like that. I've got 5. I do like to stick with the odd numbers. So we're kind of filling up this dead space over here, but then we've sort of added one up there and then I put a tiny one down by the cat. I don't know what you guys think, if you like that color. If we were to use the greens, I think we'd need to go with this middle green. So the green would sort of pop off there a little bit more, but I think I like the monochromatic. So I'm going to stay with that. So I'm going to push those down because I'm happy with it. And there we have it, my friends. So it is the loose case of the card on page 30 of the mini catalog, showcasing all things Sweet Stockings. And we have just made it so that it is not holiday. We've still used those cute little pets. We've changed it to birthday. You could throw in some Week of Stella if you wanted. Yeah, I think that turned out pretty cute. I don't know what you guys think. Hopefully you think it did as well. I will put the link in the video when I publish it for the Stamp Camp, if that's of interest to you. As always, if you're in Canada, there are 2 ways to join. You can purchase the list of products that we have indicated, which is the bundle and the DSP and the ribbon. So that comes out to, I think it's 100, oh, and the embellishments. So it's pretty much everything on this page, but not the felt. And that gets you into Stamp Camp automatically if you make that purchase. If you do not want to purchase the bundle or you have already purchased it, if you want to just come to Stamp Camp, but you're going to use a different stamp set, which, you know, is an option, then it's $59 because you'll get half the DSP, you'll get half the ribbon, and you'll get all of the embellishments, and then you get all the things you need for the 14 making tapes. If you have any questions, by all means, just let me know. Again, don't forget as well that it is Celebration. So for every $60, you are going to earn something for free. I was wanting the lid. I don't think this is the lid for this. Somewhere, I'll find it. All right, thanks guys, have a great night.